Hello, guys. Today we have with us Mr. Pradyumna Tembhekar. He is the Indian fan ambassador for the Qatar World Cup and is also a fan representative. Am I right? An ambassador, representative, and uh, damn, I'd written it down. I forgot. You're also, I think, a diploma in a medical diploma. You have
ते
medical.
जाऊ दे ते युनिव्हर्सली आहे रे जे फिफा मध्ये मेडिकल करण्याचं इच्छुक असतात ते सगळेच करतात त्याच्यामुळे एवढं काही नाही.
Acha. So, yeah, that's it. That's how I would like to introduce yourself. Good to talk to you. Really nervous. अरे बाप रे मी pause करतो यार. Sorry. अरे. So hello guys. Today we have with us Mr. Pradyumna Tembhekar. He's a fan ambassador and a fan leader, and he's an ambassador for the Qatar World Cup in 2022, which will be really exciting from November to December. So first of all, nice to speak to you, Dada.
Likewise, Omkar, it's an absolute honor talking to you here on the show.
Yeah, the main reason I called you was because I wanted to discuss with you about the World Cup, because that's that is indubitably the biggest event in world football or anything else, in fact. So my first question was, what exactly do fan leaders do in the World Cup?
So my role basically of a fan leader caters to, if I have to simplify it, it's basically like a UN delegate in a footballing perspective as a representative of fans. So the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. So basically, as fan leaders, we get content, first-hand updated information with reference to the World Cup that can be shared with the general public of our country. Also, given the fact that we have an expanse of more than 3.5 billion people who watch football on a regular basis, so this network is this network was initially spanned up to 50 FIFA member nations, from which we represent the second largest populous nation in the world. Also, this network caters to the requests, discrepancies, or any issues that people face generally during a World Cup, so as to make sure that these issues are heard by the World Cup authorities and we deliver the best ever FIFA World Cup edition that could ever be hosted on any type of soil, on any kind of timeline rather. And history remembers this kind of World Cup as the most perfectly engaged for the fans from every nation across the world.
Oh, but my next question would be that what do exactly ambassadors do? As in, do they guide the fans from their nation who are visiting the World Cup? If that was
So it's like an interchange, it's like an exchange of information, it's like exchange of content, it's like gathering audiences to let them know that the various avenues are available for their perusal. For example, be it ticketing, accommodation information, be it hospitality, be it opportunities for them to enjoy their stay in Qatar, or watching football for that matter, which is the primary thing that is going to be the sole mode of attraction for tourists who are going to visit the country during November and December. So basically, it's a bi-model distribution of information. We deliver inputs to the authorities there, the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, basically, which is the organizing body for the World Cup, along with FIFA, of course. So any kind of inquiry that is reached through my end, or any kind of terminal stage issue that a particular fan faces in any avenue, I report those to them. And if there is any update regarding any sort of new additions, updates, or different ideas that Qatar is planning for all the fans out there, especially our country, they send in information to me and I reshare the same to the rest of the public in India.
Oh, so are the ambassadors, divided continent-wise or land area-wise or importance of nation-wise? How are there 15 ambassadors divided or assigned it?
It's all based on member nations. So like every FIFA member nation will have one ambassador that joins the fan leader network. And depending upon the kind of expanse or the surface area in a country, ambassadors are also divided, or like, more ambassadors are recruited so that the work is distributed accordingly.
Eventually.
And it's not based on any prioritization of FIFA qualified, not qualified. It's just equally distributed throughout the world.
Oh, so as an ambassador, did you visit Qatar before this year? I think I saw you LinkedIn and you did visit it once before this year, right?
Yes, I was part of the fan leader delegation for the FIFA Arab Cup 2021. I visited the country exactly during the period in which the World Cup will be hosted.
Oh,
So I was a part of it during the last days of November and the initial days of December. Last week of November, first week of December was my duration and my travel experience that lasted for 7 days, but will stay with me for the rest of my life, because those 7 days of travel are absolutely unforgettable. The host nation looks more than ready. That time, if the nation looked more than ready to host a World Cup, given the updates that I've received so far, it's just waiting to host the best talent from across 32 countries now.
yeah. So Qatar must be itching to just let all these players in and let all this celebration begin once and all for once and for all, right? Because I
Absolutely.
mean that was my next question. That I mean, how was the atmosphere there? Did you see the advertisement everywhere? And was there excitement in the air a year before the World Cup?
So right from the moment I landed at Hamad International Airport, all I could see was FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. In fact, I should actually tell you that uh, when I boarded the Qatar Airways flight in Mumbai, the all the pillow covers, or all the seat covers were also FIFA World Cup, FIFA Arab Cup, or Qatar Airways is the primary sponsor of this year's World Cup. It was the World Cup vibe had begun right from the time before the even Arab Cup started. So when I landed at the airport, it just felt as if the World Cup has already begun. The celebrations have already started, as well as the fact that there's like a whole area there near the Pearl Harbor in Qatar, where flags of all the qualified nations are hoisted. And there's an official timekeeper area where the countdown is officially hosted by Hublot, the timekeeping sponsor for the World Cup. So
Yeah.
also there are like places where the flags are hoisted, or there are caricatures, there are statues of footballers, or videos are shown across advertisement hoardings of the World Cup being hosted. Uh, People from various nations are coming to work there, so they are also creating the hype, as a global community that is coming together for one huge festival, that's the World Cup.
Maybe no, now this question is a bit informal, but what I'd like to ask is, I think this year there's a lot of new tech inside the stadiums. For there is, I heard there are AC vents, and there's a lot of new technology. There's going to be tracking inside the ball to see if offside works. So can you explain the few new technological advancements which are going to be involved in this year's World Cup?
One technological marvel, or like an architectural marvel, I can talk to you about is uh, I was part of the spectator crowd that watched Qatar versus Bahrain, the first game of the FIFA Arab Cup. That was at the Al Bayt Stadium. So Al Bayt basically resembles an entire tent, an Arabic version of a desert tent. So that tent hosts 60,000 people. That's the capacity of the stadium. 40,000 to 60,000 is the average range that they function in. So I was curious to know whether this actually resembles a tent, or the claim that the organization made that it resembles or looks like a tent. It does. It does look magnificent. I'm not gonna lie. And I was totally awestruck when I saw the stadium.
It's
I was just
closed.
curious to know. Yeah, it's a closed avenue. It's a closed arena. It
Oh,
actually has a closing and opening facility, just like an arena in Wimbledon does. So basically, I was just curious to see how the fabric is, or like how the outer lining of the stadium is, because it just looks like a cotton tent, or like a tent made up out of fabric. It just looks so real. I just tried to pull the wall of the stadium. I just thought whether it might be cotton or it's just metal. I
huh.
pulled the wall. and the wall actually came onto my hand as if I'm pulling a cloth.
What?
You'll be absolutely shocked to know exactly. Even I had the same reaction. I
I
was
thought
totally
I thought you'd stop at, it looked so real that I thought it must be cotton, but it turned out to be metal. But you said there's some kind of new fabric involved, which
so the outer wall, exactly. So when I tried to pull it off, it just came onto my hand. It's like as if I'm trying to pull some cloth that's attached to a wall, basically. So it's actually fabric that is hosting 80,000, 40 to 60,000 people at a single time. And you were absolutely spot on. When I entered the stadium, when I entered the stands, when I sat on my seat, there was something that resembled a blowing air vent behind me, and I looked back. So when I looked back, there was an AC vent operating at 24 degrees Celsius. So when I saw that you could
behind
actually
every
move
single seat, behind every single
behind
seat.
every single seat, there's an AC vent. In fact, at certain corners of the pitch as well, you have AC vents. So in case of increased temperatures or variations in temperatures, you can just make sure that the temperature range in the stadium is maintained to an optimum range for spectators and players alike. So we're spot on with the technological marvels and the architectural marvels there. In fact, the Stadium 974 is totally made out of ship containers. So you can actually dismantle the stadium
Yeah,
and make
yeah,
a repurposable stadium as well.
yeah, I've seen that in news. It didn't
And
seem
there
real to me,
is,
it
in
seemed
fact,
unreal.
there's like a proud there's like a proud moment for us Indians as well, because the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium is
Mhm.
actually built by an Indian company, L&T.
L&T, Larsen and Toubro.
Yes, Larsen& Toubro is actually the contracted partner for the building of the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium. So it's as Indian as this World Cup can get.
Damn. Also, so many immigrants in Qatar that they can really experience the World Cup up close in their new city, right? So again, the next question is, what all did you learn, especially working for such a world-shaking event, and how many people approx were involved? Were there lakhs? Were there crores? How many people were involved, including everything? What is your estimate?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
First of all, what did you learn and what was your experience in how they managed to bring all of this together as a nation? Did you learn some new small things, and could you tell us them? And the second is, how many people, according to your estimate, were involved, from the workers to the managers to the people at the government? A total of how many people were involved, according to your estimate?
I
Just
can't actually technically give you an estimate as such, because when I went there, I thought it must be just the local authorities that must be working, or local residents of Qatar who must be working, or people from our country who have shifted there and have been working for a long time must be working there. But when I went there, there were people from potentially all nationalities. So it's like a global cultural village there, which is
oh,
assembled with the highest of experience values, with the highest of work, with the best of work ethic, with the best of work cultures. So when I actually went there, I thought I would at least have an estimative number, or at least a rough idea of how many would be involved in the World Cup. But when I saw multiple nationalities there, people coming from all places, races, religions, uh, and working for a similar cause, working for a unified cause, all those numbers just look bleak in front of it, because what matters is the spirit and the sheer fact that they're working towards a single emotion, despite the fact that they might be professionals, they might be fans, they might be ambassadors, they might be
mhm.
working in different avenues, they might not even be involved in the World Cup, but the element of participation is what I learned from that overall experience. And no experience, or like no moment is what should I say? You should take all moments seriously and with passion. That's how you can take your own life forward and in the direction of onwards and upwards. That's what that whole experience taught me.
Okay. Also, since COVID is officially, over in the last 1 year, not officially over, but the restrictions have reduced to negligible. Do you feel that this World Cup will have a post-COVID boom, as they say? What do you
Post-COVID boom,
expect?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, post-COVID boom is expected, but not technically, because people are just wanting to get out of that COVID zone. Probably that's the reason post-COVID boom might be an aspect to look at. But I personally feel that post-COVID, given the restrictions that were placed, or given the fact that the lifestyle is coming back to normal, we'd see a sustainable version of a sporting event like the World Cup. Carbon neutral, sustainable, environment friendly, and also health conscious. Yes,
Health conscious in the World Cup
yes,
in Qatar. How?
yep. Because with whatever's happened in the last 2 years,
Mhm.
people will get serious about health, even to the slightest of chance. And given what happened in Euro 2021 as well, Euro 2020 taken forward to 2021, what happened in that Finland and Denmark game, which everyone
Mhm.
knows, whoever follows football or whoever follows sport knows what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Whatever happened there will also open the eyes to the general public, saying that health is wealth.
Yeah, but how does that tie to the World Cup? I didn't understand that.
If you have a healthy spectator, if you have a healthy player, or if you have people who are following COVID rules, it's just bare statement of people being alert.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that answers all my questions related to the World Cup. I hope it will be, I think the Euros were like the threshold. And now the World Cup is the actual house of the post-COVID era, where now you're not just entering, but you're actually seeing the whole damn experience and the whole damn thing and the whole damn celebration. But now I'd like to ask you a more personal question to end this podcast, which is, how do you go from a medical doctor to in such a conventional job to working in football, because that's what many people would love to do, that work in their passion. So how can you just tell us briefly your journey, or how can one person try to go from a conventional job to a job in football?
So right from my days in medical college, right from my initial days, actually, I was very fond of photography, filmmaking, or making videos, editing videos, or for that matter. And I never wanted to have a typical life of a med student who always ends up studying and doing nothing else. I know that study is important so as to make sure that you save lives of people, but that was not the only thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to try this as a hobby, as a stress reliever, filmmaking, or like shooting stuff that is
That
that is
interests you.
potentially
Mhm.
stress relieving for me. Actually, it was a personal decision that I made. So a couple of friends suggested that we could shoot a documentary, a mini documentary, a case study of sorts of a medical scenario of a patient. So we filmed a mini documentary of like barely 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Submitted the same to a medical conference. It was a short film making competition, and we ended up getting like all India second rank or something of that sort. So from there, everything just blossomed. The dopamine surge got in to our body so much that we just had a knack of making short films again and again on a monthly basis, or once in 3 months. From there, it just started. Um, Short films took into football discussions and football related fan compilations of how Chelsea ended up being a good team under Conte. Like that was my breakthrough project with the official supporters club from India, Chelsea India Supporters Club, whose video was viewed by the then team manager of Mumbai FC, who gave me a contract in media, saying that I need you to handle the media for Mumbai FC in the I League. From there, a media house approached me saying that can you do freelance work for us, and I had to choose freelance because medical studies does take up a lot of time. So I ended up attending India games. I ended up attending Asian Cup qualifiers, especially the one in Goa. I ended up traveling to Kerala right in the middle of the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, where the central guy of Manipura can hit and can bang the drums and play music as and when he wants to cheer the 60,000 crowd. So in the middle of a 60,000 crowd in the tallest part of Kochi, I was standing alone, recording the entire atmosphere, right from the bare area of Kubre. I still remember because when I look back, barely uh, 3 days of starvation or no food in the belly for 4 days straight, and I'm lying down straight at Cooperage ground in the middle of the night, adjusting my camera so that I can get a sunrise view, to packing my camera, catching a 6:25 local train from CST, that's right South Bombay, to as long as Panvel. That's like half Pune distance. Um, to collect the team, watch the team train, film the team training session, come back to Cooperage, watch the game, record everything in the game, press conference, right when nothing is happening. As far as my other personal predicaments are concerned, I was just totally focused into it. Who thought that this journey would lead me to waking up right beside seaside view in the middle of Westin Resort in Doha? So that was like a transition, because I could make sure that I give justice to the tricolor in the best way possible, or in my best way possible, in whatever way possible.
Yeah.
Would I end up yeah, exactly, would I end up um, being there for my country and representing my country in any capacity possible? No, and people don't understand the honor behind it.
It's a different
Yeah.
kind of fulfillment, right? It's not just working for yourself, but also for something which is which unites every one of us in the same nation.
Um, you're absolutely right there. Moreover, it's more like people crave for that kind of honor as well. And once that opportunity presents by itself, you never know when is the next time you will try to, or you'll get a chance to have the tricolor on your chest while representing your nation in any capacity possible, be it a medical conference, be it a sports event, be it even the World Cup for that matter.
Yeah, your
But
team India.
wherever,
When you're representing the country, your team India. That's who you. That's
yeah,
who
you
everyone wants
don't
to
have a name, you don't have an identity, you don't have your background, you don't have your journey. All you have is 5 letters: INDIA.
see.
That's it. When you're out there and shrugging your shoulders with the best of the world, you also need to know why you're not the sleeping giants of world football anymore.
Yeah.
With that kind of honor, going to a stadium where I could do the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration before Cristiano Ronaldo himself was something I never ever imagined in the wildest of my dreams. Because who was that medical student who barely uh, came from uh, came from a morning 9:30 lecture, and then going to a medicine posting, checking on patients, to boarding a same night flight to Abu Dhabi to watch the Indian team play, which gets cancelled by the way, which ended up not happening. But coming after that whole travel saga after 2 days, only to come and attend a morning lecture uh, on a Monday morning, that led me somewhere to doing things on a level which even I couldn't personally imagine would be a reality one day. So all thanks to whoever was praying for me behind my back, and all who were supportive throughout the journey. And it just goes onwards and upwards.
Wow, that really seems, that really can inspire anyone who wants to follow that content. So you set a great example there, by the way. Last two questions: when do you think India will qualify for the World Cup for the first time, and whom do you think might win it this year? Who's the best team which you might win, and which is the team you would like to win?
Uh, for us as Indians, I'd exactly like to say what Sunil had told me in that press conference back in 2018 before his 100th game, because whatever he said just hits us very hard, as well as gives us a reality check. He said, I'm sad that India is not there, so no point in cheering for anyone unless and until we are there ourselves. So unless and until India is there, there's no favorite
Yeah,
for
that is
us.
true.
Unless and until we have that mentality, we cannot predict a winner. Yes, as a neutral audience, you can say France can win or Brazil can win. But unless and until we set our step, probably in 2026, we might just come close. 2030, we're definitely getting, and I just hope. My shot is 2030, because 2026, we might just lose out on 48 team qualification. We might just get there
I
if
think
we
we
have
need
like,
more time. Yeah, I think 2034, 2030.
if you pull off something, if you actually pull off something like an Iceland, then we can. The way Iceland just plummeted and then just came out of, rose from
Nowhere.
its ashes, and then got the Viking clap in front of Argentina. Draw. I mean, imagine like barely getting knocked out of the World Cup race to drawing against Argentina in the group stage. that kind of participation, or that kind of grit and determination, that
Yeah.
if they're able to pull something like that off in the 3 rounds of qualification that Asian teams go through, I'm pretty sure we can get to 2026. But if we lose out on that, 2030 looks certain.
Yeah, it looks hopeful,
And
totally.
as far as this World Cup is concerned, I've like got two scenarios in mind. I don't know why, because judging by the permutations and combinations that we have got, and given the fact that we have like 8 groups now piled up properly, and we can predict
Yeah.
things as the algorithm, um, it looks as if Germany might just take it away. Germany by
Oh,
beating England. I don't know why.
that's a shock win. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just feel like Germany might just get its old thing of world domination back by beating England. So I think England is the next finalist. So I'm predicting that kind of final. Belgium doesn't get through yet again, because all the curse of Chelsea fans with Romelu Lukaku is going to fire up on the Belgians.
Okay.
But second scenario I have in mind is France might just end up defending the crown and end
No,
the
no
World
champions
Cup.
curse. No champions curse.
No champions curse. They might just prove the champions curse theory wrong, because they look too strong even on paper and on the pitch.
And they started it also. That's why maybe.
They
उन्होंने चालू
started it as well.
वो
Like they
लोग ही
might be
खत्म
the
करेंगे.
Deschamps might just end the curse as a coach this time, not as a captain.
Yeah.
So maybe France Brazil final with France winning is one scenario I have in mind. Second scenario is Germany England, with Germany winning 3-2, again England losing it out narrowly in a final. These are the two scenarios I have, and let's hope India ends up beating all the 4 teams in the future.
Yeah. Totally stoked for that. For me personally, I'd like Argentina to win. So let's just see what happens. Leo Messi and that super team, that Scaloneta, I hope they win. So yeah.
Even I hope they get to a better stage. Argentina's only issue is their consistency, which might just prove them costly. But otherwise, they are a good team on paper as well.
Yeah. So anyway, had really great fun talking to you, and cheers, and let's have an excellent World Cup.
Let's have an excellent World Cup, and let's hope we make sure that the tricolor gets unfurled at the next World Cup.
Next World Cup.
And let's keep the tricolor flying high.
Totally. Yeah.